Hey.
Beer, 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 beer.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to consult with Ashton to see what the proper pronunciation is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I've heard them say it, and it sounded kind of like die.
I mean, it sounded.
I guess with the thick South African accent.
I don't think it's see if I say it the way that you wrote it down, it would be D-Antword,
which
I don't think is correct. I think it's more like a combination of the two, again with an
Afrikaans accent, which
I'm not entirely good at.
Oh, you're not, no.
I've done it better before.
That was better. You've done it better than you just did, correct.
There was a great, an episode of Round the Horn.
Yes.
I'm
is
going to stop recording.
Okay.
Which was a British radio comedy series from the 1960s. And they did a whole episode dedicated to one of their longtime characters dying.
Oh, no.
And not the actor, the character.
Ha!
Right? And then there was like, around the world, people rushed for their, like people were shaken. And then it's like, Johannesburg. Well, we down here in South Africa, when we heard the news, felt a profound sense of, how shall I put it, indifference. Based largely on the fact we had never heard of him.
Ha ha ha. We should kill off a major Corp line character.
Why have we never thought to do that?
I mean, we killed Richard Thurston.
Oh, right. Of
Like,
course.
almost
That was
immediately.
like the first thing we did.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the first thing we did.
You want to shuffle over a little bit?
No.
Yes. We're still broadcasting, but. Oh yeah, go ahead. Rip Lorna. Kathleen, no.
I would never kill off Lorna. She's too annoying.
Darren, really? That's bonkers.
What?
They must be getting a lot of money from some Saudi oil baron to put this show on.
Why? What's going on now?
Also at the Greatest Rumble event, 7 championship matches. I think that's every championship. Universal, World Heavyweight, Women, Raw Women's, SmackDown Women's, Tag, Cruiserweight. Oh, they have the Intercontinental and the U.S. title. Still, that's...
I imagine it's actually none of the women's championships.
That might be the case.
Got some funny laws there.
Every
That's as
male
much as I will
championship.
say.
Yeah, that is bonkers. The Greatest Rumble. So WWE are doing a network special event. Like they're basically doing a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia called The Greatest Rumble. It's a very hyperbolic name. And typically the WWE Royal Rumble is 30 participants. And I think when it started it was 20. I think they've done ones at like 15, like way back before it started being televised. But typically it's 30. One year they did 40, which I love because I love the Rumble. But it was a little bloated. This is 50. This is 50.
You're
guys.
gonna need to buy a second bottle of Jägermeister.
How long is it going to go for?
I don't know. It's an hour. If they do the 90-second intervals, that's like an hour just to get everyone in the ring.
Right.
And typically then there's a lot
It's
of fighting
longer than an
after
hour.
that.
Just to get everybody into the ring.
Well, two people get to
Start, right?
2 people get to have their entrances ahead of time. So it's 48 participants by 90 seconds. 72 minutes.
And just for people
Just-
walking.
Just to get through the list.
5-second intervals. Just a stream
Just
of
jam
people.
those dudes
Just a
in.
stream of people coming in.
Will there be a sidewalk slam about it? We kind of have to.
You're gonna have to buy a third bottle of Jägermeister.
Oh no.
Alrighty. So
You should call your viewing party the Drunkest Rumble.
We should. When's it gonna?
I'm sure Graham
gonna
told this
air?
story on Sidewalk Slam, but the people he watches wrestling with have like a tradition, a long-standing, like 10 to 15-year tradition at this point.
We have records.
Going back like many years of watching the Rumble, and the people watching get assigned participants that come down in order, and when your guy gets eliminated, you have to take a drink.
So,
So normally,
but between the, what, 3 or 4 of you?
5.
5 of you.
Ideally.
So between the 5 of you, ideally it would be like 10 shots each.
No, it's
no, typically it's between the 5 of them, and it's a 30 participant Rumble,
Yeah.
so that's 6 drinks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is
you
a
mean
lot.
at the
In
greatest
this
Rumble.
one, it will be 10 shots
Yes,
each.
it would.
Oh, you're gonna have to invite more people, or you'll all die.
I wonder if Adam's available.
I don't think Adam likes to drink that much.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
he did
come
do
up
Edward
and-
40 hands, didn't he?
You moved to Victoria after the party days.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I believe we have some videos from the road trip
Oh yeah.
that would argue with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah, could I do like shots of espresso or something like that?
I feel like that goes against the spirit of the thing.
You can be lame like Rob and not want to participate in the Jaeger bombs and just sort of like,
Sip a beer.
yeah.
That seems more my speed.
So when he like drinks, he has like a particularly large swig of beer.
But so that doesn't actually like take the pressure off the rest of you, really.
Well, I mean, it means there's.
Fewer drinks to go around.
Yeah, exactly. I could help.
Anyway, let's talk stories.
Oh yeah, video games.
So, stories we did do. Dana White is in UFC.
It's just a very strange, like, having Vince McMahon as a playable character in the WWE games makes perfect sense. Not only does he actually compete, but like in the world of WWE, even if he didn't compete, having non-competitors as unlockable characters is like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And having like in sort of the video game tradition, having people who shouldn't be a participant as like secret characters or unlockable characters is like, okay, yeah, sure. But this is like, no, Dana White is on the roster for this game. Also, he's very good. It's like, I wonder how much decision Dana White, or like, I wonder how involved he was with this choice.
I do like the idea, like, I like the idea of adding people to the roster, but speccing them, you add like a celebrity or whatever, or whoever, like, it's like you add somebody to the roster, but spec them as they really are. Like, and so they do about as well in a match as that person actually would do in a. It's like, you add me to the roster, and I have very, very, very little chance of success because the stats are all like 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
In comparison to an actual UFC person.
Yeah,
So it's just like,
good.
or it's just like you add whoever add non-combatant people, but actually give them the proper stats, so they just get totally beaten.
Add me to UFC, but give me a broom and some magical powers like in real life.
A broom and some magical powers, like in real life.
UFC 2 had Joe Rogan as a secret character, and I believe I remember actually reading about that because of course Joe Rogan actually was a fighter at one point.
Yeah.
He wasn't a UFC fighter, but he has enough capability to actually know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he's more a commentator now, and he's obviously he doesn't compete or anything. And so, yeah, I believe they also were very generous in his stats.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Tencent just dropped PUBG Mobile on, just dropped PUBG Mobile on in North America.
Oh wow, it was in soft testing on the Canadian App Store for a while.
Yeah. But now it's
AKA
everywhere.
just like America but smaller.
Boop, 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 boop. What else? Oh, yeah.
Day one patch?
The day one patch, that's just funny.
Yep.
Also, I like I normally sort of give friendly jabs to Polygon for some of their headlines, but their headline for this story was "Sea of Thieves Day 1 patch is a joke," which is a great headline because you're like, "Oh no, what'd they do?"
Because there's
Oh no, it's literally a joke. Oh, okay.
and there's been a bunch of
so cute.
controversy about day 1 patches lately.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they're like, okay, we'll give you. I mean, for the game will probably end up having a day 1 patch, but whatever.
And I do like actually just like I don't know that much about Sea of Thieves, but just in that screenshot of like the day 1 patch, I love that you can see like
Dancing skills.
no, but you can see how many other eye patches is like this. They have so many different eye patches that you can have.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, the Ninja and Drake thing was
It was a thing that happened to all of us.
it was a moment.
It was big news.
It was all over. At least the people I follow on Twitter. It was. It
Our
was.
Slack was blowing up.
Everything was blowing up. It was really cool.
It was. This is as close to covering actual news as the show is going to
Then
get.
I believe another different rapper and a football player also got involved, and they made a 4-stack. Mm-hmm. I don't recall who they were because it was really, really late, and I stopped watching.
Good for them.
Was
I'm glad
it-
they had fun playing a video game like normal people.
Yeah, and Ninja did a great interview on CNBC where he comes across as just a really nice guy, which is a refreshing breath of air.
I'd like to think that the internet's going to pivot away from douche tools, or at least parts of the internet will be like, I don't care.
Probably not.
Well, let me hope. Paragon, the MOBA that couldn't,
I love it.
is now.
What a great move from Epic. They were like, well,
Yeah.
you know what? We can't make this game work in a way that's going to make money.
So rather than flushing $12 million down the toilet, let's buy $12 million worth of goodwill. Here you go.
Well,
a bunch of beautiful stuff.
It's not even like it's smart because it's not even just buying $12 million worth of goodwill. I mean, this is Epic.
Yeah.
They make
Unreal.
They make Unreal.
So this encourages other people to make things with Unreal.
Because like Unreal has a big asset library in it already.
Yeah.
So this is just like, hey, have more assets.
Have more free stuff.
Like otherwise, it would just be.
What did they
not
do with
used at
Paragon? Paragon's shutting down at the end of April because they realized that nobody wanted another MOBA.
Yeah, they said that they couldn't make it work. But if you have bought in-game stuff, they're going to
Give you a full refund.
refund
You
it
just
all.
have to show your receipts essentially.
Mateo, this is the same game that we talked about before that they shut down.
Yeah. And further coming up, there's literally nothing else to the story. There is a crazy man who plays Pokemon Go in Washington State who got really mad when somebody took a gym from him. And
People were sitting on a park bench, and he pulled up and got out of his car with a tire iron. It was literally like which one of you punks just stole this gym?
and then punched another guy. And then one of the guys, good reasoning from an epic logic master here. One of the other guys came up behind him and started choking him out, figuring that if he wasn't conscious, he couldn't punch anybody.
Oh, smart.
I mean, that's true, I guess.
I wouldn't try to put someone in a choke if they had a tire iron.
I think he'd not had the tire
Because
iron at that
it's
point.
got the tire iron's got that the bend in it that makes
Yeah.
it really easy to get somebody.
Yeah, my concern is if you were insane enough to come after 3 dudes, maybe you can't be choked out.
I don't think that's a function
maybe a
of.
snake just comes out of your eye.
I do like the idea of.
You're getting ready for Dice Friends early.
I like the idea of defending, because it's ostensibly defending the gym, right?
Yeah,
So it's defending the gym. Literally.
yeah.
He
it's
does
like,
what his
hey,
Pokemon don't.
it's one of those nobody. It's like people can't defeat my Pokemon if nobody can get close to the gym.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like that meme guy, but he's also holding a machete.
All right.
That's a good meme.
Developers can use the Google Maps API to build their own game worlds.
Yeah, so
neat?
this is Google did a blog post about this just recently where they're opening up their map API and people can use the data from it, and we're not talking just you can use where all the streets are and the satellite maps. We're talking because Google now their Maps API has a ton of 3D scans of the world of buildings and stuff. If you go to any relatively high population city now, you'll actually see like 3D stuff. So for AR purposes and all sorts of interesting stuff, it's a great data set that people are having.
I saw someone tweeting this morning. They were like, "Hey, like if you need, people looking to make a fantasy, like the map from like a fantasy world, check out New Orleans or New Orleans." And he's like, "What's up with this place? If this came in from a third party freelancer, I would have some notes." It's just a picture of the map of New Orleans, and it's just the way it's laid out and structured, with like the bay and the peninsula and this giant bridge, and it's like, you've never seen a real place, have you?
Where are you from?
Well, and it's also like there's a ton of there's all the like topographic data too. Like there's a bunch of stuff from I know there's a bunch of video games that have talked about using topographic data, like for like mountains and stuff. So.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, Thor SoCar, that's just Street View. It's a great data set unless you want something from Iowa or any Midwest state. Then the data's all 10 years old and wrong. What else?
Oh man, these are the most adorable. Okay,
New York is actually super easy to get around.
Somebody's made a bunch of cases for Switch games.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're so wee. They're a little tiny.
That are like actually the shape of like that are like a case. They look like a jewel case, but they're like SD card size.
They're adorable.
It also illustrates how much wasted space there is in basically all game packaging these days.
Yes.
But you could have like.
Why do you think Nintendo wants you to buy games digitally?
You could have like an adorable like dollhouse game cabinet that would actually have the real games in it.
It was very cute.
Reader may hear.
There was one that I saw that I did want to. Where's the one with the typo?
Oh yeah.
In Civ.
Yeah. So Civ 6.
I before E, except after C.
Yeah, so Civ 6
or actually
has
it turns out, by the way, I before E is like not actually useful.
There are more exceptions than there are things that follow the rule.
Yeah, it's just the ones with the rule come up more often for children, I think, is why that's taught.
But okay,
anyway.
so in Civ 6, there are some problems where AIs act in ways that they shouldn't, or are too into winning the game by religious victory as opposed to, military victory or cultural victory or various other things. And somebody looking through the source code for it, somebody figured out that part of the problem could be, or is that a bunch of the AI subroutines where they're supposed to say where it says there's like things where it says like yield production, yield science, yield culture. So it's like when it should switch to these different things. They spelt yield incorrectly. So they spelt yield YEILD.
Yeah, speaking of that.
So yield production 25 would make a civilization prioritize production at the 25 level. Yield production 25 means nothing.
So the AI ignores it.
And that is in the production code of the game, apparently.
Well, you can't spell check code, right?
I mean, but you can. But you can spell check the individual things. I personally often spell things incorrectly in my code, but
Anarin, I've never actually heard that full version. The I before E except after C, or when it sounds, or when sounding A like neighbor or way, or for words that are foreign or weird.
Yeah.
Because foreign and weird both have EI as well.
Oh. Yeah, that was one of the first things that happened to me when I was a kid. I was like, what's the I before E? But weird isn't spelled that way. I got mad.
How did it even compile if it's spelled incorrectly?
I mean, the way it was, yeah, the way.
You don't know their code.
The idea is that the code is that there's like the actual compiled code, and then there's the variables that are used for managing the different AI systems, and apparently they are done differently. So, but yes, you definitely can spell check code. I mean, you can check that the various tokens are done correctly, but apparently they didn't, or they ignored it, or something, which I find very funny. What else we got going on here?
Speaking of bugs, there was this other story which I didn't actually read, which was how a bug in an educational writing game cursed
Oh,
children.
I read this story. Okay, so there was an educational writing game that came out in the 90s. What was it called again?
Secret Writers Society.
Secret Writers Society. The idea being it would like encourage children to do writing by saying, "Oh, you're not just doing your essay homework. You're getting into like a secret society," and it had like a badge and decoder wings and stuff like that. And it was made with Macrovision, or what's the other part of Flash?
Shockwave?
But like.
Action script?
Yeah, whatever. It was like made with some sort of primitive language that it was very fun. Except it would read your writing back to you. But if, according to reports, if you're using something was low on memory, it wouldn't read your writing back to you. It would read out loud the list of words that had been programmed in that it wasn't supposed to read out loud. Like
Macromedia Director?
Macromedia.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
So it would have like a memory overflow and just read you literally all the bad words?
Yeah, it would be like memory would overflow and go fuck, shit, butt,
That's
ass,
amazing.
presumably. And so people were like, "Oh, that's a nasty bug," and people said it was a bug. And then, sort of like this is the 90s. This anarchist group claimed credit for it, saying that it was not a bug. It was like a purposeful thing that a programmer had put in because he thought that parents shouldn't be letting computer programs babysit their children, and that they should be taking an active parenting role.
Wow.
So that it randomly just decides to do that?
Yeah, because because the excuse was that it was just a bug if the computer was running low on memory. But they could replicate it on computers that weren't running low on memory.
That's such bullshit.
The
'cause it's
developer
like-
was like, "No, that's not the case. Nobody has sabotaged our game to make some sort of weird political statement."
That's also like really stupid. That is like, need to be taking an active role. Yeah, I want to take an active role, but I don't want to like peer over the kid's shoulder every second, right? Like if you look at a piece of software and review it and are like, yes, this is fine, this is safe for you to use, and then you leave, and then it randomly starts swearing. That's not my fault.
Yeah, well,
Right?
also, like, if you have a kid who doesn't particularly think that writing is fun or exciting, I think that's not necessary. I think trying to get them to, like, play a game that makes it more fun and exciting could be beneficial. Anyhow,
Fair point, Warbo.
don't tell me how to live my life. What was
There's a-
Warbo's point?
It's about the I before E thing. There's
Oh.
it's not that there's more exceptions than there are things that follow the I before E rule. It's just there's enough exceptions that it's not a useful rule, but it's not actually more.
There's enough exceptions that the rule is stupid.
My job is to program educational games for children. Let me make it so parents never trust educational software. Yeah, I don't believe that story for a second.
I was actually reading an interesting article a while ago that was talking about
This coffee smells great when it comes in from the back.
They was talking about designing a thing that makes it's like an auto key generator. It was for like making people for like tickets, and it put a randomly generated code on the ticket, and you're saying that they ran into the problem where it's randomly generating, it's putting a bunch of random letters together. Sometimes it writes bad words just through random happenstance. And so people got pissed off at that. People didn't want their ticket to have a bad word on it, a swear on it or something. And so you're saying, but you run into this problem where you now have to make a database of all the words to avoid, right? In
Yeah.
your software, you have to make a big list, and so you have to do a bunch of research. Saying you start looking up any word that could possibly be offensive to people,
Right.
which starts becoming really difficult.
Yeah.
What about words
'Cause
that
it
might
starts-
be offensive but are pretty funny that you could probably leave alone, like poop?
And so and so he's saying what they actually ended up doing, which to me is actually a great solution to the problem, is they just pulled out all the vowels, so it couldn't make any words,
Oh, that's so clever.
which is a brilliant solution to, like, rather than going through all this thing of like, okay, we got to compare everything it does
Right.
to this long list of swear words and offensive words, and so they just like, oh, we'll just
But-
take out these 7 letters, and now we
Nice.
can't actually
Well,
make
how
any
many?
real words.
But you could still like, was it 4 letters? I suppose.
No, the thing that was writing was quite long.
Oh, okay. So you could still get into it like an FCKR situation, but
Sure,
it would
but-
be embedded in with another stuff that it wouldn't be recognizable.
But anyway, it was an interesting thing I was reading. But anyway, by which, I mean the idea of like using words like that. I have a great fondness for the Twitch clip naming system.
Yeah.
Because Twitch, if you don't know, when you make a clip in Twitch, the URL that the clip is given, rather than doing like a random series of letters like YouTube does,
Yeah.
they have a big database of words, and it randomly puts the words together, and so you end up with some very silly.
It's like
Presumably, that database has been scrubbed of
Yeah. It's like-
offensive stuff.
It's like animals, adjectives, Twitch global emotes.
but you do end up with some
something else.
very, very silly words.
Yeah,
I've been trying to figure out how to use it for a Loading Ready Live bit at some point.
that's good. Yeah, remember chat. Name your clips. I thought they introduced a thing that made you have to name a clip, but that certainly has not been happening.
I believe they did. The trick, though, is if you decide not to name a clip. If you you can't save it if you don't name it.
Yeah.
But if you just close that window, it still makes a clip, but just keeps it with the default name, which it does regardless of whether you. They don't seem to have figured out why that is a problem.
That's
anyway.
so annoying.
Weird.
Also, please stop clipping, for the benefit of our mods, please stop clipping commercial breaks or the beginnings of the stream.
It's going to be the same every time, and it's never going to make it into the highlight reel.
Thank you.
This has been Graham Gets Real.
Hey kids.
Oh, okay.
You guys all be happy to know I caught all my olive flounders.
Good for you.
I was looking up something this morning, and I promise, because we talked about it before, not going to get into another big daylight savings time rant. But just
Let me tell you.
but just FYI,
let
we are currently in the two-week zone,
Right.
where the North American daylight savings and the rest of the world daylight savings is
Don't
different.
add up.
Is it the rest of the world?
Yeah, it's pretty
Most
much
of the
just
rest of
North
the
America,
world.
and I think a few other places that decided to conform with North America.
This is the U.S.'s fault, isn't it?
It is
is,
absolutely
yeah.
America's fault.
It is exactly the U.S. And then we decided to change to match with them.
Because otherwise it was going to be a real huge pain in the
Okay,
ass.
but I was looking stuff up this morning. Best thing ever. Okay, so everywhere, so it's either North America was a week ago.
Okay.
Everywhere else is, or almost everywhere else is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Who obey daylight savings? They'll be on the 25th or whatever, the Sunday. Yesterday, one place one place did the DST switch yesterday, and they switched by two hours rather than just 1 hour.
Who's that?
Can you guess where that place is?
I can't even fathom where that kind of... Greenwich?
Troll, Antarctica. The Troll Research Station in Antarctica does the daylight savings switch by 2 hours, and they do it in the 1 week that nobody else does it. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Is there a particular reason for that, or just because they think it's quite amusing?
I'm assuming if it's in Antarctica, I'm assuming that like the sun rising and setting doesn't actually affect them that much anyway. So they're probably trying to match up with somewhere. But I just find that amazing.
That's amazing.
So if you're joining us from Troll,
Yeah, if we're joining us from
Hi?
Troll, I
How's
don't know what the hell
how?
time it is there.
How's the internet down there? You must be on quite a delay.
their ping is awful.
I think that's probably good for the news.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, join us in just a few hours.
For Dice Friends.
Yeah, in 2 hours, in fact.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I gotta get some food.
For the finale of Escape from Samola Plateau.
Not the finale of Dice Friends as a whole, just this campaign.
Yes. Will we escape from Samola Plateau?
Oh, we are so good at escaping. They almost tried to unescape us last time, actually. Did you notice?
Yeah. I was trying to keep it
Yeah.
secret.
Maybe we won't. We're still very close to it.
Samola
Near-
Plateau.
overhead.
Nearby, but not directly at Samola Plateau.
Samola Plateau is actually looking very safe right now. Kind of wish we were back there. But anyway.
Ah, screw those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be the finale of Escape from Samola Plateau, but not of Dice Friends. Dice Friends will be back next week with even more silly, fun stuff, but with a different campaign, different crew.
Yeah.
But
Still
in the meantime,
some D&D worlds, though.
Yeah.
in the meantime, we should
Do the
thank
sub things.
subscribers.
It's ready for you to check over.
Sweet, thank you.
Let me pull up the thingamadoodle.
Get the thing-a-badoodle.
Get the thing, put it in the thing, make the thing go. Go, thing, go.
If you need to catch up, by the way, there's versions on. I mean, you won't be able to catch up all of it in time, but there's versions on the YouTube channel and
Watch it
there's
at like 10 times speed.
there's an audio version also on iTunes, or it's part of the Loading Ready Run aggregate feed if you are already subscribed to that.
All right.
Punch it.
Thank you to everybody who subscribed, starting with Hygrom for 26 months.
Gramelin for 47 months. Gramalam.
Venara with a 48-month resub. Welcome back for 4 years.
Saztool for 37 months.
Matman X311.
Ard Reese with an 18-month resub. Welcome back.
Drakal X for 3 months.
Woo! And Pyre Dynasty for 18 months, saying, I have nothing intelligent to say. That hasn't stopped many people.
Everyone else has been silent so far. Goma Fada Nomad, a new subscriber. Welcome to the channel.
Eliru Aaron for 22 months. Yo, 2 months away from the 2 years. Imagine the joke I could make then, because I can't come up with a joke. Please help.
Kira LSL is a brand new subscriber.
Times Chew with a 15-month resub. Thanks for the help, Graham. I didn't know I had to refresh. It worked.
We got there.
Krieger-san for 55 months.
Woo! And PK Jester for 7 months. Thank you.
Nathan Longhair with a 30-month resub. Can't wait for all the Paragon asset-based shitty games for Alex.
None of us can.
I'm excited.
They're gonna look so
Dragzov for 33 months. 3 months. Wait. Yes, CheckPoint. Can't wait for D&D later. Starting to play my own game for the first time. Much fun.
Awesome.
Menno Knight 42 for 23 months says this thing reminds you to ping the channel. It's kind of annoying. Also, hi.
Hello. Rake X with a 39-month resub. Let's begin checking those points.
Saraton for 7 months.
I'm Clockwork 46 months. Reselling to Lure for 46 months like clockwork.
Paranomasiac 42 with a 15-month resub. Am I sentient? Are you? Who knows?
Gekyoryu for 50 months.
Ico and Mog for 51 months says, woo, caught a checkpoint life. Dab.
Is that what we're doing now? Deadly Partition with a 19-month resub. Hey, Graham's finally here for once.
Beach face. I've been very busy. Cosmic Duct Tape for 7 months. Can't make Dice Friends. Not sure if I'll wait for FUT. Time for my standard checkpoint resub.
Well, thank you, Cosmic Tape. And now it's Mickey Alice for 4 months says, Lurversary, huge adult dilemma for us tonight. Do we stay up and watch Dice Friends? Work tomorrow, and we're on UK time. Oof.
Oof, oof. Wither with a 36-month resub. 3 years. 3 years. I swear it had been 5. Well, welcome back anyway.
Admiral Matt for 22 months.
Bronze Finger for 51 months. Dab.
Edgehead with a 6-month resub. Welcome back.
Clench Eastwood for 15 months. I heard you like subs, so I got you a sub for your sub so you can sub while you sub.
Dab. Dandy Swag for 5 months says, no thank you, Doctor's Lure.
No thank you, though. Also, EJGR Runner with a Gunner. EJGR Gunner with a 4-month resub. I missed the message. I'm sorry. Godeke
for 44 months. No pithy comment here.
And thank you for 576 bits from Foxmar320, Earthen One, H-Bomb and Friends, Rock Pusher, and Xanto69. It's like Ben Ulmer's here in the room with us. Dab for my wicked burn. And then dab in to celebrate my dab. And then dab for the last time.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
For the last time.
Come back later for Dice Friends.
See you in 2 hours? I need food or coffee or maybe both. Oh dear.
Coffee food. Talk to you later.
That's what I've had already and it's not working.